and welcome to Dubai Watch Week Secondhand. I'm Sarah, the brains of the operation.
And I'm CQ, the beauty.
And today's panel is on the people versus luxury. Watches are a luxury industry, but our panelists are reluctant to admit it.
We've talked about luxury. It's almost a dirty word, right? It's one of those things that when you say it now, what does it actually mean? And so I'm curious, what does luxury mean to you now?
I gotta disagree. Luxury isn't a dirty word. It's all like moist taxes.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to a store and they really take care of you and you get an item and you feel like this is special, like I think that somewhere between the human connection and then the feeling that's generated from owning this item that is not a common feeling, like something that lives in a new echelon in your life, like that to me is luxury.
To me, access is what defines luxury. Have access to people, to things, information, experiences.
Doesn't it mean the exact opposite of that? If everyone's in business class, then business class is economy.
That's true. You'd need a new business class inside business class.
I think we should call it premium economy.
I think you're the first person to ever think of that.
Oh man, I'm going to be rich. Luxury is luxury. Let's lean into it.
But our moderator, Jian, wasn't afraid to drop a few luxury brand names over a 6-minute introduction that was definitely aimed at those in the know. That's
for sure. But after all, this is a highlight show. So we've edited it. Edited it. But since this is the highlight show, we've cut it down to a few key brands.
So let's get the luxury counter up for today's crystal clear moment.
I served as the editorial director of High Sobriety. I was at GQ. I'm a contributor to Business of Fashion, as well as a slew of other Louis Vuitton, Kim Jones, at Dior, Ruba Amanema, joining Valley, Ferragamo, Virgil Abloh, Dior, and Air Jordan, and Vuitton, and Air Force One.
What is he saying?
He's saying he knows a lot of words.
I think a lot of brands. Speaking of which, what are you wearing today, CQ?
Today I'm wearing an H. Moser & C Pioneer with a red fume dial, which is beautiful.
I mean, I think it matches wonderfully with your pocket square.
And coordinated.
And it's very Father Christmassy of you with your green and red.
And the season is right around the corner, so it's a little early.
There's no time like the present.
Oh, I see what you did there. What about you? What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a very, as some of our panelists would describe it, a very inclusive, luxurious Seiko.
Inclusive luxury, I like it.
Yes, you can find it on Amazon.
Oh, yes. Very luxurious.
Well, I don't think it's the most expensive item anymore. I don't think it's elitist anymore. I think it's inclusive. I think it means community. I think it means sharing and learning and coming together and teaching each other. And I think it means self-expression.
Gabe Reilly, he's the co-founder of Collective Horology. It's a Silicon Valley-based collectors community.
Real talk, Silicon Valley-based is like a nice way of saying he has money, but he dresses like he doesn't have money.
Yeah, if you wear a nice suit in Silicon Valley, people feel bad for you. They're like, I'm sorry you're poor.
Yeah. Hopefully one day it'll be rich enough to wear terrible, overpriced, baggy t-shirts.
Yeah, Gabe's not quite there. His t-shirt still fits.
I don't know anything about culture or fashion. I mean, look at me. I mean, God, the travesty.
That's how you know he's not rich. He's definitely not a billionaire.
He's working his way up to looking terrible.
Expensively terrible. Fingers crossed, Gabe.
Thank you for calling me out on my bullshit. Appreciate that.
But the person who gave Gabe his first foot into luxury might have been up there. Let's take a look.
My high school girlfriend's dad was a very interesting guy, but a watch collector. I remember I was at their house one day and he comes downstairs from his bedroom with a giant Ziploc bag that is filled with watches. I'd never seen anything like this. I pretty much figured watches were useless and antiquated, and I couldn't imagine that anyone would have so many, much less keep them in a Ziploc bag.
I mean, there's so much to unpack there. I have plastic bags, but they're usually full of gummy worms. I'd love to see this man's pantry.
He rummages through the bag and pulls out a Cartier Santos tank watch and gives it to me.
Oh, he's a mobster.
Definitely a mobster.
Yeah, that watch was a gift, but also a warning.
Yeah. Look, if I can give you a 6-gram watch from a bag of other 6-gram watches.
I can also have you disappear.
Yeah. Something smells fishy, CQ, and I don't like it. Someone's sleeping with the fishes. That was wild. But Gabe was a kid.
Exactly. Let's throw it to Mark for a more mature point of view.
I had this conversation with someone recently, not about watches, about cigars. I treat it the same way I treat wine, for instance. Like, I buy 3 boxes of everything I want to smoke. I estimate out how many like how many sticks I would smoke a year. And then I would think about, I got to age this 5 years. So I got to build up a stock of 5 years, right? So it came to about 4,500 cigars.
4,500 cigars, CQ. That's like 100% more cigars than I've ever touched.
Well, you don't know what you're missing. Let's keep rolling the clip.
And he was like, yeah, it would cost you about $500,000, but you would never have to pay for a cigar ever again.
I mean, you never have to buy a cigar right now.
I know, but if you had $500 million CQ, it's not like toilet paper. It's not like a necessity.
I know, right? You're not running out like, who smoked the last cigar and didn't replace it?
I mean, it's not like there's a list, money, tickets, passport. Where are my 4,500 cigars?
I guess luxury means different things depending on who you're talking to.
I agree. Take the case of the Grail watch our panelist Rebecca Ross wants. It started a bit of a debate.
The 5110P, I love it as well. The size is wonderful. I love the hands. But when you have that dark gray in the center with the hands on top of it. Yeah.
What's wrong with the guilloche?
Well, I can't see the damn time.
You don't need to see the time.
CQ, what's your point of view?
I feel like that's as close as we're going to get to a fight for the weekend. But also, it's a great moment for my segment, No Time Like Island Time. Key reason. Today, we're going to talk about the 5110P, which I think is a very interesting kind of polarizing watch, right? It's traditional, it's classic, came out in 2000, really brought back world timers to Patek Philippe, but it is a little bit of a small watch, and it does have a lot of information because you have all the cities of the main countries around for the time zones. So from Rebecca's standpoint, I could see it being a nice, well-sized watch, beautiful, classic, mean everything you want a Grail to be an icon watch. But from Mark Cho's very focused and dedicated mind, as we know, he wants to be able to tell the time. And it's not the easiest to tell the time. Interesting time for him to jump on that, let the world know his feelings. But, everybody wants what they want, right?
I mean, do you use the watch to tell the time?
I personally do, but I have many clients who have perpetual calendars and don't set them. It kind of irks me, but, their money, right?
I mean, I hate to break it to you, CQ, but I actually don't use my watch to tell the time. See, it's not set.
I think we should cut right now.
Mark, any thoughts?
No.
But listen, ultimately, whether you're from an old school auction house like Rebecca Ross or Christies,
or from the new school of Silicon Valley subscription purchases like Gabe Reilly,
or a seasoned collector like Mark Cho,
or just a recovering editor like Jian DeLeon with a big vocabulary, luxury is an elegance, it's a lifestyle, and ultimately it's a choice that's up to you, the people. Check out the full panel, People versus Luxury, in the link below. I promise it's terrific and engaging.
And do watches have to tell time? What do you think? Let us know. I'm CQ Gottlieb.
And I'm Sara Behman, and we'll see you next time. We should discuss random crap now because they want us to look like we're interesting.
Does matcha have caffeine in it?
It actually does, from what I understood. And also, my matcha has an extra shot of caffeine. It's called a dirty matcha. It's a dirty word like luxury.
But not like moist.
It's Christies matcha. You said